Hey there. Welcome back to the Expanding My First Scenario series in the Make Foundation Learning Path. You've reached the final unit. Congratulations. So far, you've created a scenario that collects weather data every morning. You've learned about modules, mapped content, and even added filters. That's some impressive progress. Now, in today's video, we're going to explore when and how to use the run once function and how to run a module only. We'll also share some tips on saving operations while testing your scenarios. So let's dive right in. When you click the Run Once button, you're telling Make to execute your entire scenario from start to finish. Kind of like turning on the main valve to let water flow through your entire pipeline. Imagine your scenario as a water pipeline. The data is water flowing from the source through various pipes, valves, and branches until it reaches its destination. In our weather scenario, hitting the Run Once fetches the weather from your specific location. This data bundle includes temperature, sunrise and sunset times, weather status, and more. The data then flows through the pipeline to the router, which acts like a branch fitting, splitting the water flow into different paths. Each path has a filter which acts as a valve or a stop valve, allowing only water or data that meets specific criteria to pass through. In my scenario from my location, this filter represents a valve, and my bottom scenario here is representing a stop valve, as this valve down below does not allow my data to pass through, and the top one does, and it's all based on the criteria we set within our filters. So in my scenario, the data meets the criteria on the top half and it moves forward. For your scenario, it might be a little bit different depending on where you're located. Then finally, specific parts of this data are mapped to a Google Sheets module, and these items are added to your Make Foundation use case Google Sheet. When you run the scenario, it typically consumes two operations, as it should pass through your weather module and one of your Google Sheets module. Now, if it doesn't meet the filter criteria on any path, it might consume only one operation. Also, keep in mind on the bottom right is your scenario log, which will show you the sequence of events and highlight any errors in red, helping you troubleshoot problems as needed. So when should you use Run Once? Think of Run Once as turning on your water pipeline to test the entire system. Use it when your scenario is almost ready and you want to see how everything flows together. In our small scenario, running it consumes just a couple of operations. It's not a big deal. But what happens when you're working with a larger pipeline? In this bigger setup, running the scenario once consumes 6 operations. If the scenario isn't set up correctly or is still under construction, these operations can add up quickly, like wasting water through unnecessary flow or leaks. Keep in mind, as always, routers themselves do not consume any operations. Another ideal for run once is when you need to transfer data just one time. For example, pulling all specific records from an Airtable and adding them to a Google Sheet. In such cases, you don't need the scenario to run on a schedule. A single run does the job. As we've been saying, operations are like water, so you don't want to waste them unnecessarily. So how can you save on operations while testing? One effective way is to run a single module only. Right-click on any module and select Run this module only. This is especially useful for the source module. It's like testing a single section of your pipeline to make sure it's working before turning on the main valve. Running a module only lets you set up the output bundle, the data generated by that module, without running the entire scenario. This helps you verify that the module is set up correctly and understand what you're working with. But as your scenario becomes even more complex, testing can consume even more operations. To conserve operations, you can disable routes and isolate parts of your scenario. All you have to do is find the connection that you would like to disable, find the route, hover over it, right-click it, the menu will appear, and then all you have to choose is disable route. So let's say, for instance, we know that this route already works, but we want to test this route running the entire scenario. Now we don't have to consume these operations here while running to test these routes. Click Run Once, and you consume 4 operations instead of 6. By disabling routes, running your scenario consumes fewer operations because parts of it are temporarily inactive. You can disable multiple routes to save even more. Just remember to enable the routes again when you're ready to test the full scenario. All you have to do for that is to right click again and click on enable routes. And that's a wrap on Unit 5. Great job on making it this far. With these tools in your toolkit, you're now better equipped to build efficient and effective scenarios. Be sure to apply what you've learned in the last unit of this course. And if you're ready to test yourself and check your learning, head to academy.make.com and head to the Expanding My First Scenario course. You can review the content that we just went through in our previous videos and take the test at the end to check your learning. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If this has been of some help, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more automation tips and tricks. Happy automating. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more tips and tutorials on mastering automation with AI Automation Elite.